What's up guys, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I bring you news for months in SaGa, and it's Christmas time. Hey, wait, Christmas? That's right, they just announced a Christmas banner now in September, and this actually allows us to have some predictions about the future, or at least some guessings. If they are releasing this banner now, I figured they would just wait a little more and buff these units to be released on December. This can lead us into maybe having a synced banner with JP by December or a Global X. We don't know. They like to release Global X Christmas, so this can happen as well. But these characters were still buffed for Global, and they are actually good, at least the Asellus and Samir styles. Misty is just a farmer. We already have all the information that we'll be discussing in a few. They also announced a new event called Celebrate Holy Nights that will allow you to reach 2590 HP soft cap, and there is also a new armor and promotion scrolls and the likes. Now we are here on Reddit, and Hands4A3 posted a comparison with JP information, translated the link. Thank you so much for doing this amazing job as always. They buffed Endurance and Will for Asellus because these values were terrible, and it was kinda part of the design of having a risky character that is strong but fragile. But now it's fixed, and her dexterity is 115%. That's not the highest value we haven't seen, but it's good enough. She still has agility and intelligence to try to be a debuffer for rapiers, I guess. Well, the first passive grants her a heat up of very large effect that boosts damage by 20%, stacks 5 times per battle. That means that by turn 5, she will have 100% damage increase. She also recovers 2 BP by the end of a turn. With second passive, we have a 37% chance to evade any enemy attack, and also always follows up any attack with Rose Hit. That is an A power attack that does pierce damage. And she also carries a 37% chance to chase with skill number 3 that we'll be talking about in a few. Then also when equipped with rapiers, she will increase damage potential by 30%, and damage is reduced by 30% too. So, she actually has 1 damage reduction passive that will help with that terrible endurance, and she always chases with a power much like the latest version of Arthur, but has a chance to chase with skill 3 as well. That's interesting because skill 3 is very strong. Moving on, skill number 1 is that Rose Hit attack. We have it on 2 BP cost only, 8 power, single target pierce. It's actually very strong for the cost, and you may want to use this from time to time. Skill number 2 is an 8 power attack with 8 PP cost. That is just here because, well, she cannot use this 2 times in a row for farming, but it still triggers her chase attack. Depending on the situations, if you want to use an AoE followed up by a single target attack, it works. The third one is a 10 BP triple S attack that before she attacks, she buffs her dexterity and agility by 15%, and then she will attack. This is very strong and will actually perform better than most triple S attacks, and she will chase with a power, and that chase will also do more damage because of the dexterity buff, and she has a 37% chance to chase again with this skill that buffs dexterity and agility, so she scales super well for long fights. And the only problem is that she recovers BP by the end of turn, not when she attacks. So when she chases, she will not get extra BP, and her cycle is not perfect. She starts with 10 BP, but she uses it all on turn 1. Then on turn 2, she will want to use this skill number 1, and will not have enough BP to go back to skill number 3 so fast. So you have to just wait more turns to be able to use it. But you still get it back via the chase chance, and she works super well with parties that gives her some extra BP. To be honest, if you have Chooser, he is already strong enough for Pierce, but Asellus is Rapier and she is made for Remembrance as well, but can also be used as a main damage dealer for hard challenges. She is a strong nuker for sure. And, well, she's gonna receive a triple S grade. It's also a little of a sign of power creep. Eventually she gets outclassed, but right now in Global, she does offer some very good damage alongside some sort of sustain via evasion. Moving on, we have Misty, and she is a farmer. That's all you need to know. You don't need to look on any other status. We have 116% agility, 122 intelligence, because she needs to be fast to do damage. She starts the fight with 4 BP extra, so 14, and then 10% damage increase, then 40% damage increase from fired up 7, then 30% from the second passive, and an extra 20 when attacking weak targets. And she needs to attack weak targets. a total of 100% damage increase. Skill number 1 is a deep power attack that has a chance to debuff endurance. You should be using this only with her first style. This does not make sense for a farmer. And remember that she actually deals physical damage. All deities do physical damage. The second skill is an AoE attack with Slashing Shadow and S power for only 8 BP. But there's a caveat. She will do 30% HP damage to all other surviving allies. Well, if you're a farmer, you do not care about this. And she can actually use this 2 times in a row if she wants. She can solo some events. She cannot solo story because she does not have enough BP to use it 3 times in a row. But, well, it's good enough for events. And then we have skill number 3, that is 14 BP cost for an 8 power attack in S damage. Blunt and pierce elements this time, so she actually switches between 4 different elements. But if she uses this attack, she has nothing else to do on turn 2. It's a very strange design, where a character only works when you use it for nuking and if she can solo. And we already have way too many characters that can solo in the game right now, so the value is very bad. I think I'll only give her an SS grade, and that's just because of raw power, because the design is actually very, very unimpressive. Moving on, we have Samir, and she got a buff to her own STR, reaching 115%, much like Asellus, and they also buff her endurance that was super terrible. But she was a risky character, and now she doesn't have so much risks. Her will is 89, that's actually good enough, and agility is very high as well. Well, she's a complicated character with lots of mechanics. First of all, she gets 15% damage increase when landing weak attacks. She also has 30% from her third passive, so 45% damage increase on total. When she attacks weak targets, she recovers 2 BP as well. She gets a damage block one turn, every turn, and also enters a stealth stance in order to try to avoid being attacked. At turn 4, you have 4 stacks of this, so she is likely to be less attacked, at least from single target attacks. And on the end of a turn, if no damage is taken, she will grant herself a present ninja arts. This is a chase that we'll be discussing more in a few. And she also has 30% damage reduction that will help her with that very bad endurance. Moving on for skills, the first one is a free roll slash and pierce attack with deep power. That's just free, and you use this if you don't have enough BP to use something better. The second one is an S power attack with 8 BP that also hits for roll, slash and pierce damage as well, and before she attacks, she buffs her own STR by 25% on max level, and then she attacks. So it will feel more close to a double S power attack, and since she can actually use this 2 times in a row, if you are using the Dragon's Stance X formation, she may solo some very specific events, but it won't happen too much. The third one is a 10 BP single target attack that is fast, does slash damage, can be used 3 times per battle, and after attacking, she grants herself this chase called Present Ninja Arts. That is actually the same attack without any restriction. You are going to just attack with this one as a chase on the next turn. Because it can only be used 3 times as a command, that means that after you use, you cannot use it again. You have to switch to skill number 2. But you have 3 chases just from using this attack, and they will stay for the whole round. And, well, she actually just works for when there's just 1 round, because they say that this does not translate into the next wave, and on the next wave, well, you'll be much weaker. So, you want to also trigger the 4th chase by not getting hit in a specific turn. If a boss has sometimes single target attacks, it will just happen. You don't need extra help. 1 turn, she will not get hit. Then you're gonna open the fight with the skill number 3. Then on the second turn, you have to use skill number 1, because you will not have BP to use skill number 3 again. But by turn 3, you will have enough, because remember, she gets BP when she attacks weak targets. So, by the end of turn 1, you have extra 5. By the end of turn 2, you have extra 7 because she's already chasing. And then by turn 3, you can already use skill number 3. If you get at least 1 extra BP from any source, because she will start getting 9 BP per turn. And by the end of 4 chases, she will get actually 13 BP per turn. It's more than enough to keep using skill number 2 that will keep buffing her STR to do more damage. So, because she self-buffs, she relies less in buffers like Leon that relies on P piece that is getting less and less useful since Muse arrived. But she still takes time to build up, much like Leon. Leon now only needs 3 turns, and by turn 4 he already does very good damage, and she needs 4 turns, sometimes 5 if you do not have extra BP, in order to build up all of her chases. She is a very strong attacker, and because of being so comparable to Leon, will actually be used in very hard challenges, and I will probably give her an OP grade as a damage dealer. Right now, I know that the future will release styles that will compete, but right now, current game, she is much similar to Leon to not guarantee a triple S grade. And she even has the damage block like the latest Leon. It's a very strong style. She also benefits better off Muse, because Muse buffs STR and Will. That's actually very nice for boss fights. And Leon still needs enough piece from Matriarch that will buff his dexterity, or else he does not get as much status up. But you can still use other multi-status buffers like Witch's Daughter, Nala's Daughter, Sophia, and the like. A very strong damage dealer with some very interesting chase mechanics that is not really that strong for farming. You should just think about this as a boss unit. But there's just one thing that needs to be considered. She deals slash damage mostly, and for slash, if you got Mirza with left fork, you're pretty much set for future content. He's just a beast, and he can even sometimes heal the party. And if you already have Chooser, well, the new Asellus is very similar in damage potential. You do not need both, but Asellus helps for remembrance. If you want to skip this banner by having access to the new units I mentioned, it's okay, but the banner itself will receive a Silver Plus award by having 2 very strong damage dealers. I am not so sure if I'm gonna pull, because I like characters with chase mechanics, but I don't have enough gens, and I may want to wait at least 1 week to see what's coming. But that is my opinion. What is yours? Please say here in the comment section. This channel survives by the help of the community, and we are trying to achieve our monthly goal, so if you want to help, there are links on the description. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon in the next video or live stream. Bye.